today I can finally start bolting stuff in the car permanently, and I'm going to start off with the subframe. It's been a little bit of a wait, but the final product I think was worth it. I think the colour's going to give the bay quite a nice contrast, but hate away in the comments below. It's my car, my choice. Now my trolley jack has broken, so I'm going to need a little hand with this one. But before I do that, a bit of copper slip on these threads, because if I do ever have to take this off again, I don't want to fight with it like I did last time. That is looking pretty good. I think the two colours go together pretty well. I have also got the subframe crossbar done. I'm going to leave this off for now, as I'm going to have the gearbox in and out a couple of times, and having this on now, I'm just going to scratch it up. Next thing I'm going to do is replace this old leaking clutch master cylinder. Now, as I've found out, these are quite expensive. So I've bought myself a Willwood clutch master cylinder. I went for a bigger bore size, so this is a 3/4 bore size. Hopefully in the future, when I have a really heavy clutch in it, this is going to make work a little bit easier. Now there are a few differences between the OEM one and the Willwood one. The first being the hole positions. The OEM is a diagonal and the Willwood is a vertical hole position. Second is the length. From the bulkhead, this one sticks out just a little bit further, and then the bore size that goes inside the bulkhead is slightly larger. Luckily for me, my friend has made me up a little adapter to go from OEM fitment to the vertical fitment. With a larger hole, all we need to do now is drill out the bulkhead a little bit bigger. I'm going to grab my adapter, put it where it needs to be. Now you can see the hole difference. I'm going to mark it with a Sharpie and drill it out. Now a quick test fit. That's looking good. I'm now going to screw the master onto this adapter plate first, and then make sure everything fits in. Now I know that fits, I'm going to clean up all this mess and put a little bit of paint on the bare metal just to protect it. Before I delve in the car, I'm also going to put on the brake servo, as that's had a lick of paint as well. Now this is a bit hard to film and a bit hard to see, but up here in the driver's footwell is the studs poking through the bulkhead. Right up there is the brake. So there's 4 there. 2 of them are easy-ish to get to. The other 2 are quite difficult. And the clutch is hidden right up there somewhere. Everything's nice and tight in the footwell now. I'm not going to put the brake master on right now, as it's going to be in the way of me doing some wiring over here. But I am going to put the new fluid reservoir onto the clutch master. I'm going to pop the ID plate in now as well, as the screws are really small, and no doubt with an engine in I'll drop the screws and I'll never be able to find them again. I'm going to pop the bonnet seal on as well, because I've just found out that is a bit sharp and not nice to lean on. The bonnet seal has holes underneath that go onto these white tabs, and just watch out because they can snap pretty damn easy. So the idea is you hook one end in and stretch it over to put over the other side. Now I'm going to drill out these holes to fit the Skull Fab jack-up bar. Now I want to do the same here as I did with the clutch master cylinder, and because this is now bare metal, I'm just going to put a bit of paint around it. Wish I knew this before I painted the whole engine bay. Now that's all dry, we can go ahead and bolt it on. This thing looks great, looks like it's going to strengthen up the front end as well, and it's going to make jacking a hell of a lot faster. If you haven't already, there's a link up above to the video where I'll fit this in full. I'm also going to put the steering rack in now. It's nice, easy accessible without the engine in there, and it's going to make getting it into the steering column a lot easier. The last thing I'm going to do today is put the anti-roll bar brackets on. Now, I'm not going to be using this rusty thing anymore for a few reasons. One, the major issue is the threaded holes that actually hold the D-clamp on. They're notorious for rusting away, seizing the bolt in, or snapping the bolt when you go to undo it. And two, they're really thin. I can actually bend this with my hands, and it's not ideal for if you're drifting or doing some spirited driving. So there are options out there that eliminate this. One option which is quite popular is extended bolts with a block to put pressure onto the chassis rail. The other is a completely solid anti-roll bar bracket. So me and a mate decided to come up with our own idea. And it's all structurally supported inside. This thing isn't going to flex at all. And I decided to paint it in the truck bed liner like I did the Archers. That's all for the engine bay for now. I'm not going to put anything more in until I've got the engine in, but I've been doing loads of work in the background on all the engine parts. I've turned an industrial kettle into a parts cleaner. I've been cleaning up everything that I want to put back in the engine. So I've been turning the pistons from a slimy, gunky mess to something I'd be happy to put back in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.